Hello and welcome back to Ravenloft for the level 13 edition of Purple is the Chosen One. We've lost our Roaring Fire and our Owlbear Rug, from which you will deduce that we have changed inns. We're in is it the Blue Water Inn now? And as the game won't let us sit in a seat, we are in our customary levitating position over the top of the chair. So, let's take a moment to have a word about the debacle that was the last quest. Particular reference to that starting point, which can be avoided regardless of the class that you are playing. The standard practice in there is to go in, trigger the fight, and DDO out immediately. If you don't have a class that has DDO natively, as we don't this life, you've got two options. There are rare drops of the DDO scroll, but the more standard option is to get the level 11 fighter hireling, Mikhail the Pious, and get him to do a DDO. I think he comes with 2 charges of DDO for every quest, which would be enough for most quest needs, I think. So that would have been the standard option. So apologies for wasting all your time through, I guess, what is either my stubbornness or pride, one or other, both of which can kill, it seems. Another mistake I made, not for the first time, when reorganizing the enhancement trees, I keep forgetting to toggle back on this Shield of Condemnation. Now that would have possibly given us more damage against them by stacking up this vulnerability thing, but the big one would have been as we were struggling to hold them. Oh, come on, get the right things up. The big one would have been that two extra, effectively 2 extra DCs for our spells, so we would have had more chance to get the spells to stick, which could have led to us surviving. The other thing I noticed, which again would have given us much more chance, rather than spamming the what turned out to be ineffective AoE attacks, trying to hit them both, I really needed to go straight in with the Sunbolt and Searing Light, both of which light-based were really hurting them badly. I think we were critting for 1500 with the Sunbolt against them, so that was another bad mistake. But although I should have realised that shadows would suffer horribly against these kinds of attacks, I obviously haven't been in there on this build before, so didn't quite know what to expect. And on most builds, most caster builds, I would just DDO out of there, so I haven't done that fight for a while. Excuses aside, it was a poor effort and we could have done much better. While we're in the enhancements, let's just see what we've done. I think the only change for level 13 has been to take the evocation focus. So we're in a good place now with the spell DC. There's an argument for saying I should have taken heighten already for the sound burst. I think we'll take that next level. Maybe that could have saved our life in the previous one as well. Although it will drain more spell points because every level you heighten costs you more points. Is it 5 for each level? Although we can reduce that. I'm planning when we go into Epic to rejig this tree and allow us to have the efficient heighten. Although if we're going evergreen, I don't suppose it'll matter too much. We'll just spew spell points at everything, and it won't matter too much. We'll see. We'll see how we're going. I definitely plan on taking the heighten next anyway, and possibly at the last one, the 18, enlarge to be able to hit from a long way away, and maybe because if we can crowd control and then big boom the opponents before they've even kind of responded to us, that would be great. So Yeah, I've got my little heart set on that for our journey into Epic. Sit down. What else do we have to share? If you've seen the little video on the pawn shop collecting the clickable items, big thanks to Wagon for the suggestion. I wasn't able, sadly, to find an invisibility one, but I was able, I've kept them to one side down here so you can see, to find a nice selection of early level 1 usable clickables. Mage armor, shield, I've got several shield items here. Jump, more shield, more shield. If any of you is on Orion and you'd like a shield clickable item, mail Purple and he'll send you one. Expeditious retreat boots. Now you can get those same ones from the Borderlands, from one of the chests in there. But if you don't have that, these could be very handy. Protection from evil, more shield, and bless. And the other one I picked up, for those of you who are starting around level 4, I don't suppose it will really matter, but starting at level 1, an item giving 20 on all spell powers for a caster, that's not terrible, so I picked that up too. I also became aware that I was caught in a lie. You were asking me, Wagon, if I had any of these malleable scepters. I found one. I don't really want to use it, to be honest, because we have already most of the stuff it's giving. But I wanted to show it to you all to give an idea. These come from the new level 12 chain in the Lord's March Plaza, the Peril of the Planar Eyes. And they're really nice because it's like a one-stop shop for any spell power, in this case light. So we're a light caster, we want our standard, how do I make it stick here? Is it Z? No, how do I? Oh, I seem to have forgotten the way to make something stick in the window. But anyway, we've got the standard light there, Radiance 84, Insightful Radiance, Insightful Wizardry as well for spell points, and the Radiance Law for the crit chance. So there's everything you want there as a light caster, except for what we've actually got on the orb, which is the Insightful crit chance, which is very rare. The only reason I'm not using that is that we have the various bits and pieces of it dotted around on other items of gear. I'm not going to go over the gear again because we haven't changed anything since last time, but like there we've got Radiance, here we've got Radiance Law, so we've got the spell power and crit chance sorted. We've got Insightful Radiance on the orb, admittedly not as much as is on there, but I don't really want to remove this because this is giving us potency and spell sight are giving us spell power on everything. So if I take that away, I'll just show you. So at the moment we're in the 200 plus, maybe around 250 for the ones that we're interested in. If I take this away, we suffer a big fall in like fire and what else do we lose badly? Fire and force have gone right down, haven't they? Positive not so much because we've got some on our belt, and light we've got dotted around, so we haven't lost so much of that, but I don't really want to lose like all the fire because we're using Scorch and Flame Strike to a lesser extent as well. So for the moment at least we're going to hang on with this Barovian Scepter. But those are available in any element you could wish for, acid, coal, you know, all the standard stuff, plus force and light. So definitely recommend to run that chain if you're into your casters. There are legendary versions available as well for use at endgame. In fact, I think my druid maybe makes use of one of those. Might do. Yeah, I think he's got a force version of one of those sticks. I could be wrong, but I think if not now, then he surely did in the past. Right, moving swiftly onwards. So, yeah, DC wise, we're not in too bad a place. Sort of low 40s, halfway through heroics. Now this comic fall, as mentioned, I'm disappointed that in the fact it's conjuration. Everything else we have is evocation, and I've obviously spec'd for that with the goggles that we're wearing, and suddenly we've got this big SLA that's conjuration, so that's a bit of a pain, but we'll deal with it. I suppose if we had heighten, we could put it on there for free, and that would be another good use of that. So I think we're kind of decided now. When we get to 15, we're going to take the heighten meta magic, use it on the sound burst and on this comet fall. Otherwise, spells, I took. I did put it on the bar. I took Stalwart Pact for a bit more defense, so hit points and bonus to saves if we fall below 50% health. I don't like doing that, so it's like sort of a last chance saloon, I guess, when we fall down that far. But better to have than not to have. Greater dispel magic for those annoying spell wards and things. And I thought I'd like the death ward for a bit longer lasting death ward, because that's scaling up with our level instead of the clickable. In brackets, there was nothing particularly compelling to take. I could have taken the spell version of Comic Fall, but that would have cost more mana for less result, so I prefer to stick with this thing for now. In other news, I happened to see, I was looking on the auction house for these clickable items. Actually, I didn't find anything of any import, but what I did find was a couple of I typed in shield because I wanted to find an item with a shield clickable on. Didn't find that, but I found two shields, both of which had sapphires of heavy fortification in them, which is quite a well sought after item, giving, as I think I've shown already, 100, you can see it on there, 100 crit resistance, 100 fortification, so we're on 110 at the moment. Different sources of fortification don't stack on it if they are the same, so that's a 100, and the 77 on there, they don't stack. Insightful and quality would stack with each other and with the sapphire here, and also things that you get from, for example, being undead form as we were last life, or being a druid elemental form as my caster is. Those stack as well. Why did I mention that? Yes, the two items, these two shields, both happen to have this sapphire of heavy fortification on. Now, ordinarily I wouldn't have bothered too much, because to take something out of a slot, you're looking at a jeweler's toolkit, which is either a very rare drop in game or store-bought item, and I don't have that many DDO points to throw around on such things. But I noticed that like this one, you can tell if it's in an old slot. There's no colour on this, so you can use a legacy augment unslotter. In fact, I could demonstrate it. Those are available from some of I think you can find that from the general vendor in the middle of the marketplace, among other places. They're dirt cheap. You just click on the thing to bring up the window, put your item in there. Oh, unlock. And we could, if we wanted to, we could unslot that virtually for free, because it's a legacy one, and we tell, because there's no colour on that slot. You can tell the newer ones. You see there, that's got a yellow colour there. So that one you would need a tool kit, or you would just superimpose another augment on top of it. But if you really wanted the augment out of there, you'd need a kit. Same for there. Look, there's a blue colour, but here with no colour, it just says green slot. So that tells you it's part of the old system, and we could use the legacy thing to get it out of there. And I ended up with 2 of these sapphires of heavy fort, which is lovely, because what did I pay? I gave 150,000 plat to get the 2, and that's dirt cheap when you consider what they're worth. There's none on the auction house at the moment, but I would expect to see them for a million or more on the platinum, if they ever would be on there. More likely for shards. So if any of you doesn't have one of those and would like one for a tiaring gear or something, available from level 8, really good augment to slot. Okay, that's that. I don't often use the auction house, to be honest, so I was really lucky to find those. Okay, so the quest for today, I don't normally like repeating in the same area, but I've kind of pigeonholed us into that by doing the sands already. We did really well in there. Alright, it was only Reaper 1, but we were one-shotting all sorts of stuff. Did everything apart from the Whiz King, obviously, because we don't have a spell really that's going to be able to damage him. According to Wagon, it's level 5 and below can't damage him. So I suppose I could spam heal at him, couldn't I? Could I? But I'm not down for that anyway. Not going to go all that way. I guess the another one that I'd earmarked to try and show, the same thing, has a lich at the end, the Tower of Validus in the Delira's graveyard. So we're not doing that one either. Which kind of and we also can't do the raid in the sands, because we haven't done Whiz King. So we're kind of pushed towards showing another Ravenloft here. So we are at the first quest in the second part, the Argynvost one. So let's show you this one, and let's hope for a slightly smoother ride than last time. No changes to gear or anything like that. Actually, I've just said that. Did we do a change? Yeah, I've been caught in another lie. I found a couple of Kenneth crafted pieces. So I've upgraded his braces. See, again, you can see there, blue slot, yellow slot, they're coloured, so they're part of the new system. If you wanted to recover those augments, you'd have to use a jeweler's kit. Yeah, nice item. Resistance for saves, parrying for more saves, so that's giving 9 on its own on saves. So we're in a good place for the saves. Reflex is boosted in Reaper, so we're in the mid-30s at least for every save. That bottom one, the will save, is the force of personality, remember. We're using our charisma instead of wisdom for will save. And the other one is the cloak. Now that's another, can you see there, the colourless slot? That doesn't have a clear colour next to it. So that's another one that I could remove with a legacy augment unslotter. So another nice item for our build, insightful charisma, dodge, spell saves. And the vitality diamond, if I remember right, comes from, I think it comes from Is it my favourite quest in Giant Hold, the Crucible? I think it probably does. I've probably got that from the auction house or from a kind player who's dropped it for me. Those are the only two that we've updated. At around 15, we're gonna have some. I'll tell you what, I won't spoil the surprise because I found him a nice set of gear that I'm not even sure I've ever used before. I won't spoil the surprise. That's coming at 15. Actually, there's something else that's possibly coming at 14 that could be nice too. We'll see. And now we can't get through the door. Quest failed. Right. So we've got so many buffs now. We're going on to a second line. Okay. And that's it for that.
The mansion looks abandoned, yet according to what you've been told, the Order of the Silver Dragon still guards this place, bound by an oath.
Come on then, come forward. Call that a result. They were fairly well apart anyway, weren't they? So I'll let myself off there. I'm trying to practice this thing Wagon's been saying about using the cursor thing to target the spell instead of tab targeting. So like in here, this doorway, boom. No, I missed them all. Made a real mess there, didn't I? And continuing to do so. Not facing the thing. Oh dear. I couldn't have done that worse if I'd tried. That was awful. But we have picked a good quest. There's sort of undeady things and shadows and things here, so we should be good against these. Taking my buffs away, you bugger. We've lost half our buffs. What shall I'll just put back the important one, the Death Ward, I guess. Tread on the trap again, because why not? Oh, bats. That's what we do with you. Oh, what a shot. I thought I'd had them all there. Still, it was a damn good shot. I took out several with it. Now then, where am I going? Down here. It's come to my attention that I go completely the wrong way as well in this quest. So don't go thinking I'm doing something clever. It's not. I think this section I'm going through now can be completely avoided going the proper way. I'm just one of these that tends to sort of memorize one way. Like the first time I complete a quest, that becomes the gospel for me afterwards. I don't seem capable of changing to a more efficient way of completing. It's the same with the Death House and numerous others. We're hitting hard against those, aren't we? Sometimes I would sneak up here and try and invis and just pull the lever and run, but obviously that's not an option for us. Oh, we've lost our magic missile defense. Look at these shots. Beautiful, beautiful. I would also, if I had one, use a DDO here to get back quickly. It's a nice use of the DDO, this quest. After pulling each lever, you can DDO back to the start and go quickly onto the next area. Now in this section, you only need to kill the red boss. So my approach tends to be to focus everything on him and then just run, which won't do much good for our aggression bonus, but for the keeping alive bonus should do just fine.
Without looking up, it says simply, "Go away." The Revenant shakes his head. Argynvost's last beacon will never shine. All that is left is Strahd's endless.
Just threw everything at it.
Destroy anyone who tries to end his torment.
I went into dragon mode from last quest.
Once again, nothing more.
Anything we've got, it's going in.
Commander's body, you find a large silver key. Engraved on the key is the name Argynvost.
So again, in this area, you don't need to engage the stuff down in the graveyard unless you want to, which I don't.
An impressive mausoleum stands in one corner. Carved in the
I would have
marble
liked
of
an
the outer
invis
gate
to
is
go
the
back
name
through this
Argynvost.
section, because they might end up engaging us.
You use the silver key you found on the commander, and the outer gate to Argynvost's mausoleum opens. You place Argynvost's skull inside the mausoleum, and a brilliant light fills the room. Now, if there were only some way to direct the light to the beacon atop the mansion.
And you wonder why I never get any kind of conquest bonus. I was not out of principle, just because that's how I play. I've decided I'm not going to change at all to cater for this this new XP system. And like you said, Abba, I haven't noticed a major change in having to do a lot more quests to reach any specific point. It's been pretty good, to be honest. Not nothing noticeably different. Come on. Now, what do we do with the boss? We don't want to be made helpless, do we? Oh, there's another one. And another one. Where are all you lot coming from? Nice. Okay. That's one of the things I've enjoyed so far about this build. We seem to have a really nice mix of single target power. I mean, these things are quite powerful, especially when you get the extra levels thrown in. So we're one-shotting quite a lot with the Sunbolt and Searing Light, as you've seen in this quest, although some of the... What am I doing here? Come on. Some of the things are quite vulnerable in here, so maybe it's not a fair reflection.
The beacon flashes.
We've got this nice AoE business going on, which we didn't really demonstrate that well in this one, and the good single target stuff too. So
You feel a tingle of warmth
most
you have never
casters
felt
that I've
before.
played have a weakness in the single target department, and this one seems, at least to this stage, is doing all right with that. So that's nice. The only time we really could have done with putting out more damage was when I stupidly picked a Reaper 4 and those platinum things tore us to pieces, because I couldn't do enough damage to put them down in time. Now, are we going to want that for any kind of a future life? Yeah, I don't think, and nothing we're doing straight away anyway, are we? I don't want to clutter up the bag space any more than it already is. I think I've probably chosen one of the softer ones there for the level 13 quest. We could have had the Amber Temple with all the flame skulls, or we could have had the Tea Party, which has a couple of nasty pinch points in it. So maybe I've decided to go easy after the painful last time around. Right, so that's the plan of action anyway, to complete the second part of this chain, and I don't think there's anything else left at 11. So is that the next level? No, but I think finishing the second part of this chain will take us as near as damn it to 14, won't it? I don't think there's anything else that I really wanted to do. Is there at 11? Nope. So we'll be taking 14 as soon as it's available and going on to the final part of Ravenloft, which I won't show you because we've already got 2 Ravenlofts here. Chances are I'll try and show you one of the ones in the Lord's March Plaza, the newer chain that you can get those caster sticks from. Maybe we'll get lucky and get one ourselves that we can use. And what did I show last time? I think I showed the Seizing the Dawn, so we'll go for a different one this time around. The only one I really don't know, as mentioned before, is the whodunit one, which even if I do decide to try it, I'm not going to make you suffer through that, because that could be ages of wandering around lost, and you've already had that once in Misery's Peak. Right, I think that's enough for the waffle for today. Thank you very much as always for looking and suffering along with me, and I will speak to you all in the next one. Take care.